Superpowers, and today we have
a dog.
Maggie, who's leaving. We have another episode of What We Watch. This is Cloak Dagger, Season 1, Episode
7.
7. Did you say there's only 8?
No, there's 10.
There's 10. Okay, good.
3 left.
I'm a little confused because we're watching something also on Netflix. We have one more episode, so getting it all confused. All of the Marvel universes are starting to combine. Not really, but okay. So this episode? Do you remember the name of this episode?
It is called the Lotus Eaters, and I will say something more about that in a few minutes.
Oh, not now.
If you want me to now.
Go right ahead.
I thought it was really cool. I didn't really pay much attention to the title at the outset, but then watching the episode, it reminded me of the story from Greek mythology of Odysseus from the Odyssey, where they get pushed off course and land on the island of the Lotus Eaters, and he sends some people off, and they're supposed to come back and tell them like what kind of people live there, and they never come back, and he goes looking for them, and they're just kind of hanging out, and they've been eating the lotus fruit, which is what the people on the island eat, and the more they eat, the less they want to do anything. They just and the more that Odysseus's people ate, the less they remembered about their other life, and the less they wanted to go back with him. They just wanted to kind of hang out.
I see.
Which really ties into this episode.
Yes, which I have renamed Groundhog's Day.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole. Ding, your time is up. That's the whole premise. Is kind of like, okay, first of all, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay, so
spoilers.
Spoil. Something smells bad. We at the beginning of the episode, they find that she gets him to come over, and so that they can both hold on to
gets Tyrone.
Yeah, gets Tyrone to hold on to the is her name Mina?
Mina's father, Ivan. Yes.
Yeah, Ivan's hand. Each of them hold his hand, and then they end up trapped in his mental.
Yeah, they're basically inside of his mind, kind of like what each of them do separately, but instead of seeing like the other person's hopes and fears, they just kind of see, I guess, what's going on.
Hey, if you're enjoying this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that bell to get the notifications so you can see more awesome unboxer fun. Yeah, I really liked this episode.
Yes.
And like you said, it was one of those that, like, you know, it was all contained in that world, but it wasn't like Groundhog's Day as in, oh my gosh, can it stop repeating itself? It was really cool because even though you knew the same events were going on every time the phone rang, they didn't go through the tediousness of, you know, doing the same things every time.
Right.
So even though you knew,
well, that was the kind of cool thing was that well, at least Ivan, Tyrone, and Tandy, they all knew what was going on. They knew it was repeating. They knew, okay, we're here again.
Yes.
It wasn't like they like
have to
went back and, you know, they knew what was going on.
So when they first got there, they thought they couldn't be seen by the workers who were there, and clearly the other workers did see them and started to attack them. Of which I called it zombie mode. They seemed to be like in zombie mode, and they were coming after them so you find out in the episode that after they are sprayed with whatever chemical, when the pipes start bursting, that's a funny word. Anyway, when the pipes when they get the stuff splashed on them or inhale it, however they're doing, then they kind of go into attack mode.
Yeah, which is an interesting little tidbit, which I'm assuming is going to play out later in the season.
Is this not the same stuff they were exposed to?
Well, no, it's the stuff. Well, I don't know. We're not really sure what they were exposed to, but
that's true.
It's the stuff that they're drilling for.
Oh.
So whatever they're trying to pump out of the ground, when it came spraying out of it made them like, you know, violent, and so.
Now I have a feeling, and I think we said this last time, or we're hoping, or predicting, or whatever, or maybe it's like really apparent to some people, but that something else is behind what Mina's doing her thing, but they have a secret agenda Roxanne does behind what all's going on, right? Besides just finding a better way to, you know, there's always a hidden something. So, so the cookie was interesting because the cookie kind of tied into the other episode.
Yes, I have a.
That she baked in the Easy Bake Oven. She was like, I don't even know, like 18. I mean, you know, it's okay because the Easy Bake Oven, you know, you can't burn yourself. You can't burn yourself. Yeah, and you can't overindulge. Maybe we should go back to the Easy Bake Oven way of cooking. And you have to wait like 3 hours for a light bulb to cook it. Anyway, so I think that was cool how they tied in the cookie, and how. She said, you know, once she heard her dad's voice on there, you know, she wanted to keep hearing it. She wanted to keep talking to him, and she really believed it was like him.
And I think it was him. And I think to her, the phone call, hearing her father, was like the Lotus. From the story. Like the more she heard it, the more she you know, wanted to stay there. She didn't want to leave. Right. In fact, you know, in the episode, you know, like Tyrone's like, we got to get out of here. This isn't doing any good. And she's like, okay, let's leave. And then he goes out, and she's still in there.
In there. That was pretty cool because she was like stuck there. Like
she was doing the what is it? The what's the challenge?
Oh, she was doing the mannequin challenge.
The mannequin, yeah.
She did it very well because I think she's like really frozen. But anyway, at first it was like, okay, we get it, you missed your dad, you're here. But then I started thinking, like, you know, when you love somebody and you haven't heard their voice for that amount of time, plus she was a little girl, you know, that had to be really super hard for her to break free of that and to come back to what reality, because it seems like she would just rather stay there. Right. So, so Tyrone tried to go and solve everything by himself, because she was stuck on the phone and the other guy was like it couldn't be done. So he tried to go and solve it all himself. That part couldn't be done. And then they found out that Ivan had to do it. Right. Because he was somebody who was actually in that time frame. So that's probably why.
Well, I think, well, Tyrone says, like, it's his,
we gotta help you.
Mind. He has to be the one to do it.
This is true. Yeah, that's true. All right, and then, so the cool thing is that he came out of it.
Yes.
After it was all, he came out of it. So I think that's really cool. So it opens it up for him to talk about what actually is going on and to kind of be on their side. Hoping that Mina and Ivan can kind of help them spur on the Roxxon, you know, what they need to do there in the next few episodes. Yeah. And hoping that they stay, you know, quote unquote good, you know, don't turn or anything, and that they stay safe, because after that boyfriend incident, I just don't know who is going to stay safe. Boyfriend incident? The mother's boyfriend that was killed. Yeah, because that was like, that was complete.
Well, that was the thing, and oddly enough, you know, it's kind of one of those, you know, MCU moments. But, you know, when we did the review of the first 3 episodes, you know, I was kind of like, well, you know, there's not really like a big bad, you know, it's just kind of like this mysterious corporation. But in, you know, watching, when we were watching, was it Iron Fist? I think I was watching Iron Fist, and
they mention Roxxon.
Yes, yeah. The Harold Meacham mentions that the Hand has dealings in several companies, and they mention Roxxon, so we already know that they're connected. So
because if you've been watching any of the, it's all, I mean, like the Netflix series. This is a side tangent. They mention stuff from the cinematic universe, and then they're also mentioning stuff from this universe. Now, I don't know if the cinematic universe has mentioned things from this, you know, has it come back that far? Not yet. I don't know.
I can't think of anything.
Maybe they don't even have time to, but these two have been referencing either each other and or.
Right.
So that's really cool. Kind of ties it all in there together. And if you're watching any of that, we just put up a review for Luke Cage Season 2, which, so if you go ahead and check that out if you're a fan of the Netflix series. Yeah. And we have Daredevil out. We'll be having Iron Fist out soon. So just a little side note.
we still have Daredevil season 2.
Yes.
As well, so
yes, it's
several more coming.
It's all coming, and Defenders. We got to get it all in because Iron Fist season 2 is coming. Jessica Jones season 2 is already. And what else are we waiting for? Daredevil season 3.
Yes.
So all of those are coming. And I love how Cloak and Dagger ties into those.
Yeah, that is really cool the way it's all.
And we can get our
even though it's different
fix.
networks and everything.
Yeah.
It's still because it's the Marvel Universe. They still tie it all in together.
It is. Okay, so what do you rate this?
Well, one thing I did want to say real quick, because you mentioned the cookie, I thought it was interesting in kind of again tying into the whole Lotus Eaters thing was that that it was eating the Lotus fruit that kept them. In the Greek mythology story, kept them sedate and kept them not wanting to leave. But in this, it was he never ate the cookie, and then when he finally eats the cookie, that's when he
never ate it. You think all those times he never ate the cookie?
No, he just kind of like takes it out and puts it on a napkin. You never see him actually eat it. But in this one, when she points out the cookie to him. And
then
he
tastes it.
Then it's like, he tastes it and recognizes what's in it, and that's when he wants to go home.
And
so
you have to ask yourself, is it the antidepressant, whatever that's in it?
Kind of a funny moment.
Yeah, kind of like bring him out of it.
Because he bites the cookie, and you're like, it's got the antidepressant in it, and then he starts crying.
Yeah,
like,
that was pretty funny. So I really, really liked this episode.
Yes.
And I'm gonna go as far as.
I would say this is, for me, this is the best episode so far. Now, I know there's 3 left, and they're probably going to keep getting better, but...
I'm holding out at 9 to see what the last 3. But this was a great episode. There was I didn't have to rant about any special scenes, even though it was, what do they call them, like bottle, self-inclusive, maybe, episodes. It all tied into the story, and you didn't feel pulled sidetracked. And I cannot wait to see where it's going the next 3 episodes.
Yes.
All right, so thank you.
From the teaser that Cloak actually gets his cloak. In episode 8
because she's had her dagger for
like
ever. Oh, and she was able to throw it.
Yes, that was
the first time she was able to throw it. So that was pretty cool. All right, so let us know if you've been watching Cloak and Dagger. What do you think? What was your favorite part, and what would you rate this episode? We always love talking to you in the comments. So thank you so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, tell a friend, and as always, we want to know, what do you watch?